Welcome to the show. We're diving into the nuts and bolts of legally setting up a freelance stagecraft or event production business. With a focus on everything from business structures to permits and insurance.
I'm really excited about this, especially since many live event pros, stage technicians and production crews, can really benefit from having all these details ironed out.
Absolutely. So first off, choosing the right business structure. It's like, the bedrock of your entire operation. There are myriad options, from sole proprietorships, which are super simple, to more protective structures, like LLCs and even corporations.
Yeah, right. And what's interesting is that for freelancers, this choice really affects everything, like liability, tax efficiency, and even the credibility you show to potential clients. Isn't that so?
Totally. I mean, it's like, you have four main factors: liability protection, tax efficiency, business credibility and growth, and easier financial management. For example, if you're a sole proprietor, you might love the simplicity, but your personal assets are totally unprotected if something goes sideways, which really could leave you exposed.
Exactly, and that's why so many in the field, even if they're just freelancers, eventually opt for an LLC to shield themselves. It's like having a financial safety net, right?
Yeah, and there's also the alternative of an S-corp structure. It offers tax benefits by splitting salary from dividends. Although, let's be honest, that can get a bit complicated for a solo creative who might not be ready to deal with payroll complexities.
Right, and honestly, sometimes the simpler the better. But hey, if you're planning on expanding or taking on employees, then stepping into those waters makes sense. So, after the business structure, the next big step is getting an EIN, correct?
Exactly. The EIN is like your business's social security number. Even if you're just starting out, it's essential for opening a bank account and keeping your finances separate. And get this, it's free from the IRS.
Yeah, free is always good. It really demarcates your personal finances from your business ones, which boosts everything from your professional image to tax compliance.
Correct. And along with that, registering your business name is another crucial step. When you decide to operate under a name like XYZ Productions rather than your personal name, filing a DBA becomes essential. It's also smart to think ahead and possibly secure a trademark for that name.
Makes total sense. Brand identity really matters, especially when potential clients are checking for credibility. So after setting up the structure and brand, what's next on the legal checklist?
Then we dive into permits and insurance. Permits, such as a general business license or specific zoning permits, are crucial, particularly if you're running a warehouse, rehearsal space, or a rental house. These ensure you're legally running in your local jurisdiction.
Right, and then there's the insurance part, which I find is often underemphasized. Some freelancers might think, well, I'm small scale, do I really need hefty insurance?
That's exactly where I have a slight reservation. It's tempting to say, I'm just doing contract work. But think about it. If a client sues you for a missed deadline or any mishap, you could be liable for more than you bargained for. General liability insurance, workers' compensation if you hire anyone, and even equipment insurance are non-negotiable.
I see your point. But isn't it a bit overkill for someone working solo? I mean, sometimes the cost of insurance can add up and cut into profits.
I get that concern, but consider it as an investment in your long-term security and credibility. Trust me, a single lawsuit or accident could end up costing you far more than those premiums.
Fair enough. And speaking of investments, getting professionals or trusted online services for forming your LLC is another decision point, right?
Yeah, that's right. You basically have the option of doing it yourself, hiring a business attorney, or using an online service like LegalZoom or Zen Business. It can be a bit time-consuming if you try to DIY, especially if you're not familiar with the legal jargon.
And these online platforms usually come with a flat fee that might actually save you time and mistakes compared to navigating it on your own, right?
Exactly. It's like, you can think of it as hiring a well-reviewed chef for a specialized dish versus trying to piece it together yourself from a cookbook. A professional touch can really make a difference.
Yeah, and that professional touch also extends to aspects like drawing up an operating agreement, which is essential for outlining ownership percentages, responsibilities, and decision-making processes.
Right on. The operating agreement isn't even legally mandated in all states, but it's super beneficial to prevent future disputes among members, especially if your team ever grows.
After that, we move on to registering with state agencies, correct? Like if you're collecting sales tax or handling state employees, and in some cases, even renting equipment, you have to be mindful of state-specific registrations.
Yeah, exactly. And this part gets a bit intricate. You might have to register with your state's Department of Revenue or even a workforce development agency if you're hiring or managing employees in different states.
Wow, it's pretty much like a legal maze. And then, what about those industry-specific permits and certifications?
Oh, absolutely crucial. For instance, for stagecraft, certifications such as OSHA 10 or OSHA 30 are often required, along with ETCP certifications. And don't forget specialized permits like those for handling pyrotechnics or operating aerial work platforms.
That really ties into building your reputation. Venues and big-time touring companies are definitely going to look for these credentials before hiring you.
Exactly. You're putting your best foot forward here. It's like having a seal of approval that tells clients you're not just skilled, but also safe and compliant with industry standards.
Right. And after we tick off all these legal and permit boxes, the next big piece seems to be financial management.
Yes, splitting personal and business funds is key. Opening a business bank account, getting a business credit card, and setting up an accounting system with software like QuickBooks or Xero. These practices help you stay organized and, importantly, ensure that your tax filings are streamlined.
And by doing this, you also build a separate business credit profile, which is critical for securing loans and credit in the future.
Right. Establishing that credit history is like building a financial reputation that lenders, vendors, and even future partners can trust. And it makes managing cash flow so much easier when you know exactly where your funds are going.
Absolutely. And then there's joining industry associations and unions to further boost credibility and network with peers.
Yes, joining professional associations like the Freelancers Union, BBB, USET, and the like can open up doors to networking, continuing education, and even perks like health insurance options. It's an excellent move to position yourself as a serious player in the industry.
And those associations can also offer guidance on best practices and even provide resources if you ever find yourself in a legal or financial pinch.
Definitely. It's like you're not just growing a business in isolation, but building connections that can lead to bigger, better gigs. Plus, maintaining compliance with tax and legal requirements, filing annual reports, renewing permits, and so forth is essential for long-term stability.
For sure. And, I think what's interesting here is that even though the process might seem overwhelming at first, each step, whether it's selecting the right business structure, getting the right certifications, or managing your finances, plays a critical role in safeguarding your career and assets.
Exactly. And it's like a roadmap. If you get these fundamentals right, you're not just avoiding problems, you're also setting yourself up to seize more opportunities. Imagine it as building a stage before a big show. If the foundation is solid, the performance can truly shine.
That's a great analogy. And I'd also add that while some freelancers might feel bogged down by these legal and financial details, the upside is huge. Professionalism, better client trust, and even the ability to scale up when the time is right.
Right, it's a bit of upfront work that pays dividends later. Plus, this guide really emphasizes making smart decisions early on, like using trusted resources to register your business, say avoiding overpriced services for EINs or business registration.
Yeah, those little cost-saving tips can make a big difference. Overpaying for something you can get for free, like an EIN or a DUNS number, just seems unnecessary in the long run.
Exactly. And it's not just about saving money, it's also about understanding the regulatory landscape. Being careful with third-party services and doing some groundwork yourself can prevent unnecessary headaches down the road.
Totally. So, in the end, whether you're a freelance stage technician, production company owner, or even running a rental house, following these steps and being diligent about your legal and financial setup really makes all the difference.
Absolutely. It's about creating a secure, professional, and compliant business that can grow over time while protecting you and your assets. Invest the time now, and your future self will thank you. Trust me on that.